All right. Welcome to 6 Feet Podcast. It is good to be back with you. I am DJ Pope, your host. We'll have our special guest, and as always, off screen for sure, we are joined by Ben. Say hi, Ben.
Hello.
All right, good. And so a few things we want to remind you guys of. We're on Instagram. Follow us at 6 Feet Pod. Also, you can subscribe to our channel and tell us how much you like what you see. Suggestions if you want it. We might listen, we might not. I'm not real sure. But you can always ask questions, and we will attempt to answer them on the show. But before we move forward, I've got to bring on a special guest. Now, it is Memorial Day coming up tomorrow, and so this is a day for us to remember the people that gave their lives for our great country, but also those who have served and, serve all the time, veterans. And I'd like someone who the Coast Guard once called Shipmate of the Year, all right? In his time, the coast was never invaded. And I don't think that's a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to announce my brother, Jacob Smith, former Coast Guard. And so thank you for your service, Jacob. Come on to the show. Appreciate you you're kind of dressed up a little bit.
Well, we talked about this. I had a job interview today. Kind of been trying to put my life together.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it went good. It's tough you wouldn't reschedule, so I had to have them reschedule it, and it's kind of tough whenever you ask someone who's trying to hire you to. So
what did I not reschedule?
I told you I couldn't do this week. I didn't have time for this. The job interview is supposed to be an hour ago. I had to reschedule it till this morning, and I just got here on time because on the other side of town I can't.
Well, it's
pretty obvious. I don't know.
I don't think it's any secret that 6 Feet Podcast is every Sunday at 4:30.
Yeah, but I'm just a special guest. It's like
that's true.
Can you find another special guest? Or
it was your week. It was your week to be on here. We settled this a while back. And
I came up on the Rolodex.
Yeah. You fall in line and
okay.
With COVID going on right now, some people are booked and I just couldn't get someone to switch your days.
Well, and just to be honest, I've been trying to put my life back together a little bit. Things have kind of went out of control, and I
know you lost Jake last week. You're the agent.
Yeah, I lost my agent, and he's just an insurance guy. He's not actually connected to Hollywood.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's ridiculous. This poll came out, and we don't need to talk about it. It doesn't matter. It's not important.
Are you talking about
Ben? Seriously?
What?
You're gonna put anyways. So a poll came out.
I'm not gonna lie. The poll shocked me.
I think it surprised all of us, and I think some of the questions that we need to be asking. It was pretty close to Ben's birthday. Which is it really Ben's birthday?
Yeah.
Was it?
I've not seen a birth certificate.
I've seen him lie about a lot of things. I want to see that birth certificate and then we could have a recount closer to my birthday, and we could see.
I think you're just jealous that the people don't like screaming.
Ben, we're just starting, and I'm already here.
Ben, let's get through the show.
We have
all
to
right, cool it. Everybody just relax. We are here now. That's the important thing. We got things going on.
Shake it off.
Nobody
look like
we don't require
ridiculous. You
don't look ridiculous.
Anyway,
you gonna wear the tie?
Well,
you gonna go with it?
It's tight on I can't get it off. I don't know. I didn't tie it. I glued it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to tie ties.
You glue? Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Just let it go then. I don't think you're going to get it off.
That's not it. Let's just move. Let's just go.
It's a great segue into what we're going to talk about, our topic today, the courage to move. All right. And so we talked this week, the idea that when you are faced with great adversity and being able to walk into that adversity. And, last week we talked about the price of winning, all the sacrifice he had to lay out on the table. But then sometimes as you are entering a new chapter in life, you're entering something new, you have to have the courage just simply to walk through the door into the unknown, into the hard, whatever. And so this week we're talking about that. Ben, you actually had a really good story that you actually added something, all right, this week, and you got the topic rolling. Kind of tell us a little bit about the story, Ben.
Right. So there's this guy named Sylvester Antolog, which just so happens that's Memorial Day tomorrow. But also even more of a coincidence is that it happened on today, May 24th in 1944.
Okay, so the event you're talking about happened 1944, same day.
Yep.
It's God's will. Move on, Ben.
Exactly. And so Sylvester Antolog went on to win the Medal of Honor, which is the hardest medal to ever win. It's that nobody really has it. But
Except for the other people that have won the Medal of Honor. Yeah. You can't go buy one.
Yeah, you can't go buy one. But what he did was he is just showing true courage and just true valor by what he did for his men. So he was pinned down by a German. He was an American soldier, American sergeant. But he was pinned down by about 20 or 10 Germans.
You went from 2 to 20 to 10, Ben.
Yeah, the numbers.
It's a lot. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. He's pinned down under their machine gun fire. And so what he did is because his men were losing courage and they didn't think that they could defeat the Germans that were there, he just outright just charged at them with no sense of fear. 100 yards to these people, being completely defenseless and getting shot several times, falling over, getting back up and running, charging just this machine gun unit. And this one guy killed 2 Germans when he stopped 30 yards away. And then the rest of them surrendered. The rest of the 10 people or 10 or so people surrendered to this one guy because they couldn't, I guess they couldn't find a way to shoot back.
Right. And so, I mean, it's amazing stories like that. One person and the rest follow, and basically he's still outnumbered when they all surrender. But an amazing feat, and obviously deserving of the Medal of Honor. And
it gave his men the courage to go on.
Right, and to push through. Yeah, Jacob, give me an example. You've had to have courage to move when maybe you just felt like not going forward with it.
I mean, there's so many of them. Whenever I started college, that was really tough.
Yeah.
I didn't know too much about it, and I was in the military at the time, and it was a completely different thing. And some people were discouraging it, and other people weren't. And so, just taking a step like that or a leap, it always feels like those first couple steps are the hardest ones to take.
Yeah.
Just moving forward, and then once you get momentum, everybody wants to jump on that train, and everybody wants to tag along, and it looks like, oh well, of course they would have started this because it's obviously so successful and whatnot. But it was those first few steps where there was no certainty as to what might be the outcome or what the momentum might take you towards, or if it would be any payoff at all.
All right. And I think one of the greatest stories in Scripture that really show the courage to move is David and Goliath. You've got little 15-year-old, possibly David, who is a shepherd boy, comes to visit his brothers. They have been sitting on basically 2 hillsides of the valley that separates between them. And the Philistines send their champion, Goliath, down, who, depending on what translation you go by, he's anywhere from 7'6" to 9'6". And so he's sitting on one side, this mighty warrior, and basically he's challenging, saying, send out your best fighter. This is kind of an ancient practice to try to spare, your armies from just obliterating each other. And so they send out your best fighter, and whoever wins, we've won the battle, and we win this territory or whatnot. Well, Israel, they wouldn't send anybody out because all of the men were scared to go fight him. And then you have David that shows up, and he's saying, hey, what's going on? And he just so happens he shows up at the time that Goliath comes down to the valley, and he's saying, hey, someone send someone out. He starts to blaspheme God. Is God not mighty enough to beat me? He hasn't made someone that's stronger than I. And David's like, who do you think you are? He's at 15 years old, just arrogant enough to think he can win, right? And so he's sitting up there and he says, I'll go fight this guy. I'll go fight the Philistine. And he goes to the king. They take him to him. Kings actually went out to battle back then. Didn't have command posts and stuff. And so he goes to the king and he says, here, take my armor. I'll let you go fight him, because everybody was actually looking at Saul, the king, to actually go out and fight Goliath. He's, it says he's head and shoulders above everybody else. It's probably like 6 foot. All right, for an Israelite. And so, but he was taller than everybody else. Well, David goes out there, and we see that David had already won the fight the moment that he steps down in the valley, because he believed that God had empowered him and that nobody was going to defy God's name. And that's the power that he went with to fight. And so I think that is just a remarkable story of understanding, okay, there's an obstacle in my way. And I think a lot of people most people see it as an obstacle, but I think people that are going with the Lord, I think the big difference is whether you see it as an obstacle or you see it as an opportunity. And David saw it as an opportunity, because he hears, hey, whoever goes and fights this Philistine, they get the king's daughter and all of these riches. And David's like, I was already willing to fight him before that. Now I see an opportunity, right? And so he goes down, and the rest is history, of course. And so I think opportunity over obstacle is really the viewpoint that as a follower of Christ that we have to have, because if we see the obstacle and always see the hard, well, then that kind of puts us at a stalemate. But if we see an opportunity in a way to make Christ known or to make him famous, then we take that step forward.
Yeah, and it's usually those obstacles that highlight the opportunities.
Yes, yeah.
Because sometimes, like when you're watching Netflix or something, it's the most frustrating thing, because there's a million things to watch, and tons of shows that you that you want to watch, but you don't know in what order.
Right.
And so you get hung up and you have no idea what to choose. Yeah. Whereas sometimes whenever there's a big obstacle in front of you, it's like, well, that's the only door that's open.
Right.
So let's take the door.
And I think it was Randy Pausch in his book, The Last Lecture. He said, I love the line. He says, walls are not put up to keep you out. They're put up to see how bad you want it. And so basically, are you willing to scale the wall to get to the other side of what the opportunity that you see? Or do you go to it and you say, it's here and I'm just not going to walk through it, or I'm not going to try to scale it? And, I think as Christians, I think we use that term too loosely of God closed the door. And I know I've used it a lot. Well, God just closed that door. And I think we've got to be careful, because sometimes God does shut a door on us, but then sometimes he shuts it, but he doesn't lock it, right? Yeah. And so when he locks it, it's done, you move direction. But when he just shuts the door and there's just some, it's almost as if we think everything just needs to be this nice, easy trip, and there's no work, to be done. I like both times that Brittany and I moved out and then back, and for ministry, everything for our house kind of all fell into to place. And it was great looking back on it. But during the time, that was some stressful time. And so there's many times that Brittany and I could have said, well, I guess God's just closing the door and this isn't where we go. But we hung with it and we prayed through it. And then all of a sudden we see God being able to intervene and work in those times. And so that obstacle, turned to opportunity. And I think it's much more how much we're willing to let him work during those times. And
you have to be careful, like you said, about how much you're leaning onto those phrases like God closed that door.
The Christian cliches.
Think about how convenient it is for you that now you don't have to strive for that really hard thing. You get to strive towards something much more easier because God closed that door.
I've got to do this.
Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's a closed door,
Exactly. I can't remember the missionary's name. I know I've used him in an illustration before, but he ended up going, it's Hudson Taylor. So Hudson Taylor goes to China as a missionary, one of the real early ones. He was there during Boxer's Rebellion when a lot of missionaries and stuff were killed over there. And so he really kind of laid the groundwork for Chinese missionaries. But Hudson Taylor, when he got out of college, they offered him this great position at a church in his hometown. So he finished college and university, and they say, hey, we'll give you this job. And he goes, he sits there and he prays about it, and he tells them, he says, God's not called me to work here. God's called me to work in China. And they're like, you can get killed in China. You can die there. That is not a safe place for most missionaries. And obviously God wants you to have a job here. He's given you this job and he's opened it up for you. And it was not necessarily that. I think a lot of times God can give us choices there and said, this isn't going to be a bad life, but this is going to be the one that glorifies me more. And Hudson turned down the job. He says, God didn't call me to serve here, he called me to go there. And the rest is history with Hudson Taylor. I mean, tons of churches started, tons of missionaries followed in his footsteps. Many people have come to know Christ through the start of his ministry there in China, and not what he probably would have seen. He wouldn't have seen near the fruit or the legacy had he stayed, in the comfortable choice, in the comfortable position. So, Brittany, my wife, has told me that I've talked about sports too much. And that I mentioned Michael Jordan in all 3 of the first podcasts. And so
why wouldn't you?
I guess I like sports a little bit, and they just naturally come. So I want to, and the reason I say this here is because I want to make sure. I almost had a sports analogy come out, and I want to make sure that you catch me, so that I don't use any.
No sports stuff.
No sports today.
We're done with the sports references.
Yeah, no sports references, no sports stories.
Sorry, sports fans, we're done.
All right, I'm done. I'm gonna try against it.
Cut it
today. None of that. And so.
Thanks, Ben.
Way to go, Ben. Nice job. Probably could have been here before he asked for it, but we won't bother with that. And speaking of courage to move, and so today is May 20, and we're just going to talk about something else that happened on May 24th. All right. So Ben tells us something that happened in 1944 about a guy getting Medal of Honor running at German tanks. I want to talk about something much more famous that happened on May 24th, 2004.
A little bit more big picture.
Yeah, bigger picture. So 60 years after Mr. Antelock stormed the German tanks, a young man at the age of 17, Lakeworth High School. All right. So
school that you went to, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah. In 2004, I was a junior in high school, and I was there.
So this is big picture.
Yeah. So this is
okay.
big stuff. And you've heard this one before? Well, so it was midday. I had just finished athletics. Yes, I was in athletics. All right. This is the only sports reference I'm going to use. And so I'm leaving. And the way that it worked is that the guys finished their athletics period and the girls went to their athletics period. Well, this young girl that I had went on my first date with the Friday before. We actually had gone to prom as friends. You know what I'm talking about yet?
Prom friends?
Yeah, we were prom friends. Really what happened is that her and her friend were going to prom, like just driving there. And I heard them in class. And I said, hey, can I go with y'all? Because I don't have anybody else to go with. And so I literally invited myself to go to prom with them.
It sounds like she didn't want to go with you. Whoever this is. I
don't think she did. But you see, there's times there's obstacles and there's opportunity. And so I saw this opportunity. And so I went to prom. We had a great time, a lot of talking. We got to know each other more. We danced. She's not a big in the middle of, in front of people type person. And I am. And so, I drug around the dance floor. We danced around. I had a great time. Went to her house afterwards with a friend and watched a couple of movies to finish out the night. And so after I'm thinking, hey, I'll ask this girl on a date. And so I do. We had a date. It was a great date. I went to work the next day. Then I talked to her later, talked for a long time, went to church, first time in a long time at that point in time. All right. Spent the day with her. And so Monday rolls around. I'm like, this Brittany girl is pretty cool. You know who it is now?
Yeah, you said, her name.
Exactly.
Yeah,
all right.
Said her name.
And so we are crossing paths, and I'm like, I was like, how's this gonna work? So back then, I don't know if you remember this, but if you wanted to be steady or boyfriend, girlfriend, you said, hey, will you go out with me? And that meant you were an exclusive couple. All right. And so she's coming back this way. And I said, hey, what's up? Something along that. I was really cool looking.
How did you do it? I'm her and you're I'm her and you're you.
Yeah. Hey, Brittany. It's kind of like that.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Who are you? Have we met?
Yeah, we went on a date on Friday.
Should I be scared? I am scared. Should I be scared?
We have a class together.
Okay.
I sit across you.
Okay.
The guy, yeah.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, you wanna go out with me?
Maybe I should switch seats in that class.
Do you want to really know what her response
Yeah,
was?
let's hear it. Let's hear
Okay.
it. What did she say?
I said, hey, you want to go out with me? Real cool like that, too. Hey, you want to go out with me? She goes, that's a stupid question. Literal words.
Oh, wow.
Because I had so much of an effect on her. She was already committed.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so today marks 16 years as a couple. It's a long time, sir. It's a long time.
Congratulations.
I tricked her so bad.
Sometimes there's wide open doors and you can just fly through those doors. And sometimes there's obstacles and you just have to hit it
And see-
hit it. And sometimes it takes years of just pounding sand
And this is a really like a paradigm
and getting
shift.
nowhere. And
Because-
this is a good example of sometimes whenever you hit a
See, it wasn't the obstacle of like hurt. I'm my own obstacle.
yeah,
Like this is a paradigm shift.
yeah,
So,
no, it's
so
you.
here's me and here's me.
it's all you. Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, just couldn't get through. I
Yeah.
mean, so yeah, she fell for the charm.
Yeah. Oh
The
yeah.
only one in all of history who fell for it. And so, Brittany, I love you. Thank you for thinking that I would turn into something more than you knew one day I would be a podcast host, and that's why you jumped on that bandwagon. So, and we're gonna stay away from the sports references for you, babe.
Beautiful.
All right, so Ben, let's see if we got any questions. All right, anybody got any questions for this idea of the courage to move forward? Ben, this is where you talk.
No, I'm
Ben.
trying.
Ben.
Are you scrolling, Ben? Ben, you got a
Ben.
computer in front of you. What do you got your phone up for?
For all the questions.
Why do we get him that computer if he's
I
not
don't
even going to use it?
I don't know.
All right.
There's a class that desperately
I'm
wants
actually, if we could, I'm going to get an email probably
Oh,
from
You're wait. Okay,
I'm waiting
that's
on
fine.
a
Yeah.
call or something.
Yeah, you're good.
So, well,
All right. So.
All right, Ben.
Liz
Nice and loud.
Liz asks, "Is cereal a soup?"
Okay, so we got nothing for the courage to move stuff.
Nothing for the courage.
Okay. So I didn't know. I just wanted you. I wanted you to let me know how the cereal is a soup question
is
ties in.
cereal.
You just have to have the courage.
To answer.
You gotta have the courage to just call it like it is.
Is cereal a soup? Why don't you take this one, DJ?
I'm gonna congratulate Libs14 because we posted 2 opportunities to ask questions, and she wanted to make sure she got the question in both of them. All right,
Same question?
Yeah, so this
And
is
she's
the
the only one who questioned the second.
yeah, she's the only one. She just wanted to make sure that if something's gonna get answered, it's gonna be this question. I mean,
This cannot go by the wayside.
no.
This is important stuff.
And the fact that she asked it twice, I mean, I wonder how long she's thought about this. I mean, she might be losing sleep over this. So we're
Well-
going to solve her insomnia right now.
Well, okay, so
Well, I guess we have to define soup.
technically no, but if you make your cereal the way that I make my cereal, then yes.
Is it?
Go ahead.
I think it lends itself to ask, how do you make your cereal?
I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Do we really need to get into all that? I don't think she wants us to, does she? No.
She just wanted to know whether we think it's a soup.
So my cereal, I heat it up. So it's just like
hot milk and hot like Fruit Loops.
shut it, Ben. Not now, please. So my cereal is it's heated up just like anybody else. You do your
It's not like
you do
anybody else.
pour your milk in. I like almond milk. I'm an almond milk. I like almond milk. and then my Cheerios, right?
You have to squeeze the almonds to get the milk out.
Well, I don't personally do it.
Somebody has done that.
Yeah. Somebody's done the legwork.
Somebody's milked
there.
the almonds.
Somebody, and I'm glad that they did.
Stealing the baby
Those
almonds milk.
Those things are hard to squeeze.
I squeezed my own almonds once. Make some milk.
Just like anybody else does cereal, right? So your milk, your I do cookie crisps, and I heat it up in the microwave for probably 15 minutes, something like that, and tomato sauce. And then you got, so yes, that could be a soup.
So you're getting a lot of different food groups in one meal.
Well, yeah, I'm just eating cereal. I don't know, but it technically that is a soup because
Of the tomato or the
well,
heat.
I was gonna say because I heated it up.
Okay, so if we're calling it a soup, it's got to be hot, correct?
Well, yeah, it'd have to be.
Okay. So probably 99% of Americans, or the world for that matter, probably call it just cereal.
I think you're jumping to a few assumptions there, but
It's
yeah,
true.
Yeah, let's
There's probably bogus
let's
statistics.
just say if it's hot, it's soup. And if you were like me and you put a little tomato sauce and microwave your cereal, then yeah, sure, you're eating a soup.
I think that answers it.
All right, I have a serious question related to the topic this
Oh.
time. Just came in.
So you're
Topic question.
is there
Any
is
question?
that the topic? You
No,
pointed
it's-
at the screen.
question.
No,
Oh,
no, I was.
we know we're on any questions, Ben.
Okay,
That's why we're
any
asking
questions?
to-
Any
okay, Go
questions?
ahead.
Give us that question,
Are there
Dan.
Owen asks, are there any times where God's will wasn't obvious at all in your life and you used your courage to make a decision that was glorifying to God's plan?
Oh, this one's a good one.
That is it's really good. And go one more time, just
right.
slower for me, Ben.
little bit
Are there
louder.
any times where God's will wasn't obvious at all in your life and you used courage to make a decision that was glorifying to his plan?
Yeah, so where God's will was not obvious and used courage to make the decision. Yeah, so actually coming to my current position as youth pastor or student director here at Cana, it was took a little bit of courage, and it wasn't clear because where I was, I had gone, I had moved my family away, and you know, my youth, if anybody in my youth group's listening to this, they're like, yes, we know the story. You tell it all the time. All right. But there, it was one that I was given the opportunity to really kind of build it from the ground up. There were 5 kids there. You were there the first couple of Wednesdays to get it kicked off just so it wasn't weird. And so
It was weird.
it was kind of weird, but there were 5 kids that started off. We named the group. We started, we did everything from the ground up. And so upon I feeling God's leading me away, it was kind of a shot in the dark. Do I go? Do I stay? Because there was a lot of emotional stuff to stay, just because one of my best friends in the world is the pastor. It was built from the ground up. It's got my stamp on it, for what I felt like God was working in me to do there. But then, God called. And there's a lot more question marks than there are answers. To stay would have been the easy choice. To go, you come to a place that one of your best friends, not the pastor, no one, and you're kind of asked to right the ship and to get it going. And so, yeah, that one, I've seen God glorified already. A lot of kids that I'm working with that are doing great things. Got some great direction going forward. It was a great move for my family and I, but there were a whole lot more question marks than answers when we first started out. But I feel like God's been glorified through that.
That's a good way to put it, with a whole lot more question marks, because I feel like that's typically going to be the case.
Yeah.
Because the thought or the idea of what you're supposed to do is very straightforward.
Yeah.
But your mind goes to the peripheral,
Right.
How am I going to pay for it? What is
Yeah.
this logistically? How's it going to work out?
All of those things. And I think a good scriptural one that a lot of people want is Gideon in Judges. So the story is he calls Gideon to lead the army. He says, okay, well, I'm going to put this sheep's fleece out on the ground, and I want you to make everything wet and this dry. Oh, next morning he wakes up, it's done. And he says, okay, I'm just not sure yet. So in the morning, I want this wet and everything else dry. Same thing happens. But even if you look at that story, Gideon is probably in the wrong by asking for those signs. And so a lot of times we work and we think, okay, there's a sign that, if the phone rings at 3:01, then that means I should do this, give $301 to this thing. And I don't think that Scripture allows for that. I think Scripture says, here are the options, here's the different stuff. You go by faith, you listen and touch with the Spirit, but then you make a decision and then you move forward. And whatever the decision that is, you glorify God in that and you continue to go. Sometimes it's God's will is endured. Sometimes God's will is enjoyed. And it just bases off the decisions that we make. And so if you're always waiting to get all the answers, you'll never do anything. And so you got to go into the question mark. Sometimes you got to go what looks like an obstacle in order to find the opportunity. So
Yeah, that's the faith part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ben.
Ben, what do we
No
got?
more topic
Let's go,
questions.
Ben. No more topic questions. All right.
Philly Cheesesteak asks, which Shrek movie is the best?
Which Shrek movie is the
Which
best?
Shrek movie?
This is the easiest question that we've ever been asked.
Really?
And let's say it at the same time.
I-
1, 2, 3. Shrek the
3.
third.
Obviously. Yes.
Right? So, no explanation needed.
Although it's close to being like picking my favorite child
Yeah.
because I love them all.
But in
The third one.
that case, it's obvious.
It's definitely
you
the
gotta
third one.
Get rid of those first two kids.
Go with the third.
Completely.
Go with the third Shrek. Yeah.
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 All right.
Ben.
Ben, I think we answered the question.
What
Ben.
is-
What
what
more
is
do you
this?
want?
What do we got these
Is
pauses.
Philly
and I'm-
Cheesesteak asking for something else? I don't understand.
I'm losing it here.
All right.
This
Caitlin
is-
asks opinion on
Get anything
opinions on Chacos.
No, I'm still waiting.
Still haven't let you know.
Trying to. I got an email coming in from a possible employer. So, what did you say, Ben?
Opinions on Chacos.
Chacos.
Did
What-
we talk about this
What
last
is
week?
the deal with Chacos?
I'm pretty sure the question came from the same person. I mean, I'm
We-
not
What is? I don't.
I'm not a psychic and I don't believe in them. So, but I'm pretty sure this came from the same person. So,
I mean,
Let's leave that
I
where
think
it-
Yeah.
it's
where it's
Chaco and Crocs, and now it's
So
Chacos.
so we had to make a decision between Chacos and Crocs, and now they just want our full-fledged opinion on Chacos.
you know what's okay. So
let's
I,
be clear. We're talking about the sandal, not someone named Chaco, right?
Yeah, no, the sandal.
Okay.
I
pretty sure.
have
riverbed sandal.
Yeah, it's a little lizard thing.
I have gotten 2 pairs of Chacos in my lifetime.
Have you
All right?
really?
I really have. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Did mom buy you those?
what is
They're an expensive shoe. I didn't know if you saved up for them. You're rough on a hard time right now.
I don't know.
If mom bought them
can't-
for you, I'm not going to be very happy about it.
You're always. It's
I have
always
never
about,
owned a pair of Chacos.
It's always about the money with this one, and sometimes you got to follow your heart, and sometimes the money. Well, you have
Money's
to,
given to your
sometimes you
heart.
have to get a part-time job. So I got Chacos, and I'm telling you, I think about them almost never. I think about Chacos. I mean, they're shoes with open toes. I don't know.
You like them in a
What
more
more
practical
discussion
sense.
can we have with
I
don't
mean,
know.
they're different colors, I think.
They-
I wouldn't know. I haven't owned
I
one.
believe they've become a cult of their own.
A cult of their own?
Yeah.
This is the problem, and this is what we need to address. Is we have this these Chaco this Chaco group that seems to be advocating for Chacos on a really strategic. They've got strategy, and they're trying to infiltrate the show with this Chaco talk. And I think that we should just ex-nay the whole thing.
Ban,
And-
hashtag ban Chacos.
Hashtag stop the chalk. Stop the chalk.
Stop the Chacos.
Stop the chalk. Chacos.
Okay, you're leaving out one letter.
Stoppo the Chacos.
Stoppo.
Let's stoppo the
I
Chaco.
don't.
Hashtag stoppo the Chaco. Let's get this trending on Twitter, and let's get rid of these Choco fans because they're hiding.
You
and
mentioned earlier.
these are bad people, and I
You mentioned
know
that these shoes earlier reminded you of a fad that was happening during our school days.
Well, they're very similar to. There was a shoe that was very popular. What was that? The late
Birkenstock.
90s, early.
No, it was early
2000s,
2000s.
called the Birkenstock.
Yeah.
And
And it had to be the real Birkenstock.
my brother over here was a real aficionado
I
of
owned one.
of
pair.
Birkenstocks.
I owned
They
one
were
pair.
very, very expensive, but you could not get the off-brand.
I believe Mom finally
wouldn't-
paid $110.
He
for
wouldn't
those.
allow it. Yeah.
You can't get the off-brand. You
You
get made
can't.
fun of if you get the
You
off-brand.
can't. If
You get
you-
ridiculed.
If you've got half your foot covered in fake leather,
It just doesn't go.
there's
well.
nothing
Yeah.
more embarrassing.
There's nowhere you can hide.
You can't survive that socially.
Yeah.
So,
So I got real Birkenstocks, the most expensive shoes I've ever owned, and they lasted a good 2 years. And then I moved to a new school in the DFW area, and I was made fun of for them, and I never wore them again.
do you see what happens, Choco fans? You see what happens? You move to another school and you get made fun of by the whole school. So let's stopo the Choco. Hashtag stopo the Choco. Let's get that trending.
All right, Ben, what do we got up?
All right. Okay, so Owen asks, why is cranberry juice called cranberry? Wait, why is cranberry juice called cranberries? Are dried plums? They're dried plums already.
Ben, I'm going to go
Sorry.
off. I'm going to go ahead and tell you I have
I'm
no
trying
idea
to
what you're
decipher
saying
this
right now.
myself. I'm trying to decipher this myself.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So why is cranberry juice called cranberry juice? But cranberries already dried plums, right?
Let's just
So
revisit the
cranberry juice is
poll
called
that was
plum juice.
taken. There was a poll that was taken that Ben had.
Yeah.
For some reason, this poll, it's you're really going to take his side.
What was the percentage on that poll?
It
again?
was close. It was close, and it tilted in his favor because it was his birthday, and I think that's a travesty. And I think we need more people. You don't have to put it on the screen. That's
It's not very close.
not the inaccurate.
I think we got a good lead there. And
That's fake news, definitely.
I've heard Ben has a weekend job. I wonder if he paid people.
I think that those.
How
are-
much does your vote cost?
We talk about, bots. I think Ben is in control of most of the bots that are infiltrating
the internet.
our day-to-day life. And so I think we need to do something about that.
I can either confirm or deny it. But Owen fixed his question
Okay.
Okay.
once again.
What is Owen
Alright.
trying to ask us?
Why is
Let's
prune
hear it,
juice
Owen.
called that? All right, so why is prune juice called that when prunes are dried plums already? Shouldn't prune juice be called plum juice?
Oh, because, that's a good question.
Maybe you can squeeze a ripe plum and have plum juice, but when it dries, it's the prune juice that helps your stomach stuff.
You know what I like? It's strawberries.
Dude, I'm a big strawberry fan myself. We got a fresh pineapple today, and let me tell you, I don't think it's Italian food.
So I'm thinking we get rid of that question and we talk about strawberries. Sorry, but we're strawberry fans here. We have no idea the science.
I've never drinking.
I know
plum juice.
not how many plums are on the planet. I know not the flavor of a plum, and I know not how they come up with the name. So thank you. Can I call you Win? Do you want to put that in the comments if I can call you Win? Because I like to shorten things.
Or owl. Anything yet?
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited to hear the news on it.
this is ridiculous.
All right, we've got one more question. What is the best Pop-Tart flavor?
Best,
There's only one answer.
This reminds me of a quote I saw from Michael Jordan. And
What's Michael Jordan? Pop-Tarts?
it worked.
What did Michael Jordan say about Pop-Tarts?
I can't
For
say.
PR,
I
we're not
forgot.
allowed to.
With the sports references, this is ridiculous. I don't know.
I
Okay,
was gonna.
can we could do it without. We can make it through the show without doing a sports reference, definitely, right? So that's not an issue.
I think.
My favorite is everybody's unanimous favorite is strawberry, but I like cookies and cream.
Really.
Yeah, no, not cookies and cream, cookie dough.
They make a cookie dough Pop
I
Tart.
think so, don't they? Can you look?
Google that,
Can you look
Ben.
into that,
Wait,
Ben?
but I thought it was the best flavor.
Can you look into that?
We're trying to tell you the best flavor, Ben. You got to Google it. Make sure it exists.
Well, there's the best flavor and there's the best Pop Tart. You know, like
There's definitely two different categories.
it's like saying I like the Dallas Cowboys or I like 72 Dallas Cowboys.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I like a
Wait,
specific
shh.
type of Dallas.
We can't.
We're trying to
No sports. None. We have
because
to avoid. We got to go around.
Brittany
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There is a cookie dough flavor.
Okay. So you
There's
have
a cookie
had it.
dough flavor. Wikipedia,
It is legitimate.
Wikipedia
It
is
legitimate
verified.
flavor.
Ben, I probably wouldn't even trust that because Ben he probably Wikipedia'd it.
Probably
and
typed it
he probably
in the-
made the Wikipedia entry that said
He's just trying to make you
that
look bad.
verified
That's
that.
what's happening.
And so I don't trust the data that I get from it.
All right, we're gonna wrap up the questions. We're gonna move on to one of our newer segments. All right, it made its debut last week, and that is Jake's Take. And this is a very interesting segment, I think. Jake is short for Jacob. He likes to shorten things. All right, you got the glued up tie off. Good deal. He's getting ready, so I've got to extend this intro to the segment a little bit longer. This is basically where Jacob comes up with his own view on certain topics. I want to encourage you in the comments section. Go ahead right now as we're getting ready, or as you're going through this segment. Put on there what you would like Jake's take on, all right? And it could be a number of different things. Last week, we talked about economics, Amazon Alexa. This week, we got 3 that are lined up, and we're going to see what those are. So if you have any suggestions for Jake's take, please put them in the comments or message us on Instagram at 6 Feet Pod. Okay, Jake, what is your Jake's take?
Jake's Take today. Ben, hit the slide. Go.
Got one.
Books versus movies. This one was brought to us in the comments. This is something I've been wanting. This is very important, and we're going to get down to the bottom of it today. I thought first time I saw that, I thought, what the hey, And then I thought about it, and now I've got a real answer. And so, books versus movies. It's obvious that you're going to go with the movies, right? Because books have value. You can get a lot of
Would say so.
you can get a lot of words from books, and so. But the thing is that books can never give you a story. Like, show me a book that has a story like Lord of the Rings or like Harry Potter or Frozen 2. Show me that book, and then maybe I'll start reading. But until that day, we're not going to do books. But books are still good. Again, for words, sometimes you can clip out words in a book, and you can write like a ransom note without being able to verify the.
That's all books are good for.
I've got other.
You do realize that
I've got
Lord of the
other things.
Rings
Not now.
was
Not
a
now,
book.
not now. But so you can do
Harry
that.
Potter.
You can write letters, paper mache. If you're trying to make a paper mache thing, it's got really thick card stock. It's good for a book. So next topic, Ben. Let's go. 20. Did you put that one up there?
I thought that's the one that we.
2020 presidential.
I thought the views would raise. I thought if I would stimulate some.
Thought people would be interested
Yeah.
in that take. 20.
Like
We sent these to you beforehand, didn't you? Prepare.
It's looking like it's going to be a good race. Next slide, Ben. Go. TikTok. This is an app that I wanted to highlight. So TikTok, basically, for those of you who don't know, TikTok is a professional networking platform. You can put your professional photos. It's like it's basically like an electronic resume, and it keeps up. It's kind of like Facebook, but with just professional stuff. So you can really chase your goals if you use TikTok correctly and navigate it, and you can get TikTok Pro. And
I don't think that's right at all.
and so
I've never heard of TikTok Pro. I'm pretty sure that's the one that they just play the music on and they dance to, and they post. I mean, there's not a whole lot.
We're talking about the same TikTok with.
I only.
It's a
Ben, do you know of
professional
another
you-
TikTok?
I do not know of another TikTok.
Just one, correct?
Just one TikTok.
I put my
And they dance.
They dance.
I put
Mostly.
my resume on there.
Is that how you got the interview this morning?
Well, yeah, that's one of the ways that I also knew the person, so I'm basically a shoe-in. So we could just skip
Then
all
I don't
that.
think TikTok helped.
That's this. So I put my resume on TikTok. I don't know what everybody else uses it for. You can. It wants you to do videos, but here's the thing: if you just hold the phone still and you took a picture, put your resume up, and you held the phone still for as long as you would do a video. So you do a video and then you stop it and then you upload it. It looks like a picture. It's like it's 15-second video, but it looks like a picture. So that's how you can, if you're looking to follow your dreams and your career goals, then you can do that through TikTok. Upload those resumes. Let me know how that works out for you in the comments. And that's it for Jake's take.
All right. Well, thanks, Jake. I guess that ends it. What?
Here we go.
You got your email?
Yes.
All right, guys. Live. Jacob's response
breaking
to
news.
his interview.
Breaking news. Blah blah blah. Hey, thank you for coming in today for your interview. We appreciate your time. We regret to inform you that we are not going to move forward with a bunch of other stuff. It says not going to be. You're not going to.
Sorry, man.
So that's, well, okay. That's a little unexpected.
You say you knew the guy? I got you.
Yeah, I knew the guy, and I've got an undergraduate degree, and I just thought that would be enough to get me the barista job at Starbucks, but I don't know.
That's funny. So is that funny?
I can't. It just feels so. That's upsetting. So,
It's not really.
if you work at the, if you know anybody who works at the Starbucks on Camp Bowie, if you could talk to them.
Are you going to law school?
So I don't.
Yeah, he is going to law school,
I can't.
but law school's
This is
4 years long, I guess.
This is upsetting. I can't deal with this.
It's all right. Well, I mean, you got a lot of stuff going for you. What all bad happened?
Oh, well, I lost a lot of money with that agent. I gave him, he basically drained my accounts. We did talk about the gas to come here, though. Like last week, we did the 30. Yes, it's a recurring.
I know that we talked about it, but I told you last week I'm not giving you $30.
No, you
for
told
gas.
me that you would give me an IOU, and that's where we were going to go.
Okay,
with
then you're
that.
going to get another IOU.
We'll talk
today.
about it afterwards. All right, Ben, what do we got on the thing today?
We got we're going to our new segment today, and it is Where You Been. So
How hard is it to get a job at Starbucks? I don't.
I've never tried to get one at
I don't
Starbucks.
understand. It's just like
Who's the guy that
after that
you know?
poll, it just That
Yeah.
pole just tore me up, and I just
Are you talking about? Are you talking
yeah.
about the pole that Ben won?
Well, I don't know. Could have been any pole, but I don't like poles. That's what really upset me is that we even did a poll because I didn't volunteer for it. So it's all right. Where you been?
Well, since Ben did win the poll,
Oh, he gets a sec. Okay.
I think it's clear who puts the slides together.
Ben, if you show that slide one more time, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it, and I'm gonna walk right out of here.
There's been a lot of reaction
I can't.
to last week's video, by the way. I don't think they understand the stress that you're under when you get to set.
Really needed that job. It's just the acting thing in California didn't work out, and
Really? I mean,
it was I'm trying to recoup.
You made a lot of
my
good
losses.
connections.
Yeah. Well, Jake did. Jake knows.
Knew
He
a lot of
knows
people.
a lot of people, but that's
State
not.
Farm's a lot of places, but I feel like he's a little
It's
misleading.
it's
maybe?
just been a struggle, and I've been my neighbor Gary has really been walking me through this. He's also got a lot of good points on the alien stuff.
you can't be serious right now.
I don't know. Like, just look at the evidence, because the CIA declassified a bunch of UFO videos, and I mean, I don't know. It's not me. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just saying, look at the evidence. It's all there. Maybe they're real. But Gary has kind of been my rock through this, and so it just
That's your neighbor.
yeah. I wish I could call him, but Ben? Take this slide down. Where you been?
All right.
Gosh.
Well, since Ben did win the poll, we decided to give him another shot at a segment.
This is your doing. You're doing.
So, because you guys continue to show favorable results for Ben,
a little hard.
he's having a rough day, Ben.
A little hard.
So,
What is? Okay. Where you been? So
the point of this segment is Ben's going to give us he's going to speak up, but he is going to tell us a place that he's been and tell us all about the
that's
trip.
what we want to hear. A place where Ben's been. Where's Ben been? That's that's a better name for the segment that Ben came up with. Where's Ben been?
All right,
That's-
you're just kind of rubbing it in.
That was
now,
okay.
Ben.
All right. Well, that just shows his character, and that's the person that you voted for. That's maybe someday he'll be in this spot, and you say bye-bye to me because
He's got 50 years to do it.
I can't.
That's a dumb contract. All right.
I'm not going to be able to.
Where you been?
afford
Ben,
doing this.
tell us where Ben's been.
All right, so I'm going to tell a story about how I went to Yellowstone one
Does
time.
it have to be a story? Could it?
Good. Just give us go ahead, Ben.
All right, so
Could just be a
We
location.
could do the cliff notes. Let's do the cliff notes of the story.
we were walking on this trail through all these different geysers, and there's this one geyser that went off while we were walking by and went up 50 feet in the
Ben,
went
where?
Where does
And
it-
Where is this
Sorry,
place
and-
located?
and
Yellowstone.
sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
Yellowstone.
And so
Nevada.
as we were walking,
Come on, Ben. Ben, why are you laughing?
so we were walking on the trail, and there was this geyser that went off. It went up 50 feet in the air,
Oh, whoa.
and it was
50 feet.
all the sulfur was like getting on all of our cars.
Yeah.
And
Let it go.
I'm done. I can't. This is ridiculous.
It was a poll. We got 70 followers. It's gonna be. Sorry, it's not. It's not like a national poll.
It was an entry level position at Starbucks, and I said that I could work all the hours. So Ben, you do you. Okay. Ben, let's just come on.
All right, go ahead
Yellowstone.
with this story, man.
all right.
Here, let's get through this. Let's get through this story.
Okay.
Oh.
So apparently, it turns out this particular geyser hadn't gone off for the past like 50 years, and it was the rarest occurrence of a geyser in all of Yellowstone, apparently.
Yeah, probably not.
And it got all over our cars and everyone else's car and all of the hard.
Didn't happen to
metal
fall on
or
you.
whatever. We couldn't wash it off for like several weeks,
Oh, wow.
and that's my story.
Probably why you smell so bad. We don't
Come
like
on,
to be
man.
Close, so.
We gotta continue to do shows with this guy.
This is, well, you better
Is
not
that
come
all?
near me.
That's all you. That's where you've been.
That's my story.
The sulfur. So Ben, just to recap that story, for those of you who don't care, Ben went to
Nevada.
Round Rock, Arkansas, I think, and he saw I don't know, he saw a water fountain. Who cares? All right, cool. So
All right. Well, that does it for where you've been. I guess it wasn't his worst one. So
I see what you're doing, and I don't like it, Ben. That I think so. Can we bring it up? Like, are we done with? We don't have any more. We don't have any more Ben segments to put in.
I don't know.
It feels like a lot. Like we've done
We are a viewer
most of the
driven
show.
show.
Feels
so-
like a Ben show, and I'm like, so
You having a bad day?
I just feel like if I'm gonna be the special guest,
That's not guaranteed. Though.
we could highlight some more of things that I like, maybe like a music segment.
Well, that's all we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to 6 Feet Podcast once again. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at 6 Feet Pod. Also, subscribe to our channel if you like what you saw. You can also go watch the other 3 episodes and increase our viewership. Great idea, I think. But other than that, follow us. Look at the different stuff coming out.
If you could just drop something in the comments about if we could get some sort of support around doing more of the Jacob segments and less of the Ben segments, we could really turn this show around. # turn this show around.
# grow the show. # join the crazy. # where's Ben at? Because he'd love to see.
He's gone. He's and I wanted
Play
to,
left.
we need to talk about, because I can't like I said before, I can't keep coming back. I'm not getting paid anything, and it feels like
It's a
feels like
special guest opportunity.
You're using my time though, and I'm
Well,
trying to get jobs. I'm trying to
That's
I'm
the
trying to
point.
I'm
I
trying
do have to
I'm
use
trying to
your
work
time.
at Starbucks. I want to
You're a special guest on a very popular podcast.
yeah, but it's not getting me the job, and Gary says I'm getting
Listen, we
I'm-
put you in Hollywood.
Gary says
How-
that
What
you're-
else is going to do
Gary
that?
says I
I
shouldn't
don't care
let you
what Gary says.
take advantage of my time. Like
I
that.
don't.
Gary.
I don't know.
Well, Gary's looking out for me, and you're not. I don't
Gary's
know.
your neighbor. I'm your brother.
Okay, well,
And he's not even your next door neighbor.
exactly.
He's up a floor. How do you even
Exactly.
go?
That
How do
says
you
a
even
lot.
cross paths
Well,
with Gary?
it's tough because the stairway is all the way at the end of the hall.
Is that still
and
rolling?
we can't.
Why
what
have
do
you
we-
not cut it off yet?
Where's the
this
song?
This is a.
There was a song.
Why do we not have the song playing?
Do you say? Is he?
I don't know.
What do we do? I can't.
The 62% of the people aren't
I'm
going to
done.